socket to the onboard flight computer. At that point in time, our onboard flight computer will govern the entire countdown sequence, performing the final checks across Falcon 9, as well as our final ground system checks as we throttle up to make sure we are ready for liftoff. And so we are going to go silent on our end here at the webcast unless you listen in to the final few minutes of terminal counts as we await liftoff of BulgariaSat 1 from Kennedy Space Center at Pad 39A in Florida.
Stage 2 locks closed out. Falcon 9's on internal power. Vehicles in self-align. Stage 1, Stage 2 cryogenium secured.
FTS on countdown 1, announce AFTS is ready for launch.
AFTS is ready for launch.
PC verify Falcon 9 is in startup.
Falcon 9's in startup. Stage 1, Stage 2, pressing for flight.
LD verify go for launch.
LD go for launch.
.30 seconds and counting.
Falcon 9's configured for flight.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And we have liftoff.
RC copies.
GC, move to post-launch pad operations.
GC copies.
Secure the pad.
Falcon 9 is on its way to delivering BulgariaSat 1 to a geostationary transfer orbit. All 9 Merlin engines capable of putting out over 1.7 million pounds of thrust.
And it is supersonic, approaching max Q, the point of max pressure.
18 seconds roughly. Max Q, that is maximum aerodynamic pressure.
And we have passed max Q. With the atmosphere getting thinner as you go up and the rocket speeding up, you get this function that starts as 0 and ends at 0, and you get this kind of hill of dynamic pressure, and at around 20 kilometers we just had the maximum dynamic pressure.
Atmosphere.
Actuals begun.
Now as the atmospheric pressure reduces, and you can kind of see the exhaust of the engine spread out here. That is because the atmospheric pressure is already very low at 50 kilometers or even at 20 kilometers, and the engine is optimized for sea level pressure, and thus the exhaust leaves the nozzle still under a bit of pressure and post-expanding. Now we have first stage separation, and the first stage starting to turn with the RCS thrusters firing.
What you just saw there in quick succession was MECO main engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, which was done by 4 pneumatic actuators on the forward end of our first stage. And then on the right side of your screen, you are seeing the glowing red nozzle of our second stage engine. That glowing red nozzle on the second stage is how you can see that we have a good ignition in space. We will have fairing separation in about 15 seconds. Just happened right now. It's like a good separation of the fairing. That was a brief glimpse of BulgariaSat within the fairing of our second stage. This means we have left Earth's atmosphere, majority of Earth's atmosphere. On the left side of your screen, you are seeing an image from the top of our first stage. You see 2 grid fins in the sides of that image. We use those grid fins to guide the stage through the atmosphere to the drone ship. Now those grid fins do look small, but they are about 5 feet long, about 4 feet wide. So they're rather large as we use them to guide ourselves back. You are also seeing occasional puffs come out from the side of the stage. Those are cold nitrogen thrusters that we use to help orient the stage. Now coming up in about a minute, we have our entry burn of the first stage. This is a 3-engine entry burn. For today's mission, since we are landing on the drone ship, we do not have a boost back burn. We only have an entry burn and a landing burn. 2 burns total for today's mission for the first stage. As I mentioned previously, our entry coming in for first stage is one of the highest heating and structural loads. So this is a very challenging first stage maneuver to land on our drone ship. Of course, I still love you.
Of course, I still love you has AOS.
You just heard confirmation that our drone ship has acquisition of signal, AOS, of the first stage as it's coming back.
Now during the last landing we saw the grid fins heat up. Now this time the re-entry load will be heavier, and the grid fins have actually been changed this time in reaction to them starting to glow last time.
for about 20 seconds. 3 engine entry burn on the first stage on the left.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
We have a good shutdown, confirmation of a good shutdown of the first stage entry burn. Now, it is normal for us to see some of the soot appear on the camera screen. We may also occasionally lose coverage of the first stage entry as we come in through the horizon. That is all perfectly normal.
Now we could just see the grid fin starting to blow again, however the grid fins have been changed to be more heat resistant this time.
30 seconds, and then we will have a coast phase for the second stage before we do our final burn to put BulgariaSat into a geostationary transfer orbit.
Second stage AFTS at stage.
We're coming up in about 30 seconds on our landing burn from the first stage. About 45 more seconds for this stage 2 burn.
Landing burn has started.
The confirmation of the landing burn has started.
Landing legs have deployed.
And it looks like we may have lost some of the footage coming in for the landing ship, coming in for the drone ship. We do expect to lose signal from the drone ship as we come in. If you've watched previous missions, that is not uncommon for us to lose coverage of the first stage coming back to the drone ships. The rocket vibrations coming into something like that can cause some issues. And it looks like we did have a good recovery of the first stage.
And we have touchdown. Now this is obviously a successful landing, however it is not quite as on center perfectly as it was on previous landings, which has to do with the re-entry sequence being more challenging this time.
So about the T plus 27 minute mark. So we're going to leave you right now with that image of our animation of second stage orbiting around Earth. We're going to come up on our second burn for the second stage in about 19 minutes or so. And we'll be back shortly to bring you final coverage of second stage engine relight as well as separation of BulgariaSat. We did have a successful landing of the first stage on the drone ship, so secondary objective complete. We are still very focused on the primary objective.